Imagine a splendid archipelago, a cluster of islands scattered like jewels across the ocean, shaped remarkably like a semicolon. Picture it basking serenely in the warm embrace of the Indian Ocean, a seemingly undiscovered jewel nestled just northwest of the familiar shores of the Seychelles, a place of untouched beauty waiting to be explored. Its two main islands, known as Upper Case and Lower Case, each offering its own unique charm and character, boast a vibrant and captivating culture, rich with traditions passed down through generations. The islands also feature dramatic and diverse geography, from towering cliffs to lush valleys, and a capital city named Bodoni, a hub of activity and commerce alive with the echoes of history and overflowing with undeniable charm, a place where the past and present intertwine. The people are known for being incredibly friendly and welcoming. The beaches are pristine, with sands as white as snow and waters as clear as glass. And the local cuisine is simply divine, a tantalizing blend of flavors and spices that will leave you craving more. In every sense, a true and idyllic tropical paradise. But here's the twist: not a single grain of its pristine sand, nor a single stone of its charming capital has ever actually existed outside of the printed page. San Serriffe was a complete and utter fabrication, a figment of someone's imagination, conjured into existence by a group of mischievous and imaginative journalists. It was a country ingeniously made of nothing more than ink and paper, a meticulously crafted hoax so detailed and believable that it convinced thousands of people across the globe. For one glorious day, the world wholeheartedly believed in a paradise that, in reality, was simply too good to be true. Our story, however, begins not on those fictional sunlit shores, but instead in the bustling environment of a London newsroom back in 1977. This is the captivating tale of how a newspaper dared to create an entire country out of thin air, and successfully pulled off what is now considered to be one of the most celebrated and ingenious hoaxes in the history of media. The Guardian's newsroom, April Fool's Day, 1977. Features editor Philip Davies wanted more than a simple prank. He masterminded a 7-page travel supplement for a fictional country, San Serriffe. Every detail was a typographical pun islands called Upper and Lower Case, a capital named Bodoni, a leader called General Pica. The supplement included maps, photos from the Isle of Man, and articles on history, culture, and politics. Even real companies like Kodak and Texaco played along with fake ads. The writing mimicked earnest travel journalism. The layout was flawless. For readers flipping through their morning paper, San Serriffe seemed as real as any far-flung destination. The Guardian didn't just tell a fib. It built a world waiting for discovery. The stage was set for a national daydream. The public's reaction was instant and overwhelming. The Guardian's phones rang off the hook. Readers wanted more information. Some even claimed personal connections to San Serriffe. Travel agencies were besieged by would-be tourists eager to book flights to Bodoni. Agents, baffled, searched in vain for the islands on maps and booking systems. Even rival newspapers and airline officials were fooled, seeking details on this emerging destination. Letters poured in, praising the wit and audacity of the feature. For a day, the nation was united, some fooled, others in on the joke, all delighted by the scale of the prank. The Guardian had created not just a country, but a fleeting sense of community. Why did San Serriffe work so well? In the 1970s, people trusted newspapers. There was no internet to fact-check instantly. The hoax's brilliance was in its subtlety. Typographical jokes hidden in plain sight, layered for those who noticed. For most, names like Bodoni and Pica sounded exotic, not like printer's jargon. The supplement's scale and professionalism made it utterly convincing. The timing was perfect. Britain needed escapism, and San Serriffe offered a sunlit fantasy. Readers wanted to believe in a paradise far from daily troubles. The Guardian's commitment, 7 pages of maps, ads and stories, made the illusion complete. It was a gentle, clever jest, executed with such audacity that it became legendary. San Serriffe's success was a testament to the power of storytelling and the public's longing for wonder. San Serriffe didn't fade away after April 1st, 1977. It became British folklore. Fans created memorabilia, maps and guides. The Guardian revisited the joke in later years. The hoax inspired copycats, but none matched its charm or scale. San Serriffe entered the language as shorthand for a beautiful fiction. It became a touchstone in journalism, a reminder that newspapers could be playful, not just serious. The story was referenced in books, lectures, and TV, a nostalgic nod to a more innocent media age. The public's reaction, the calls, the belief, became as famous as the prank itself. Decades later, the original supplement is a collector's item, a monument to British wit. We love San Serriffe not because we were fooled, but because it was crafted with such joy and cleverness. San Serriffe is more than just a legendary prank. It's a fascinating glimpse into the power of suggestion and the media's role in shaping our perceptions. It's a compelling case study in media power and responsibility, highlighting the delicate balance between informing the public and potentially misleading them. The Guardian, a respected institution, effectively set the national agenda for an entire day, simply by printing a story, a fabricated narrative presented as genuine news. The hoax worked so effectively because of the deep-seated trust built over decades of reliable reporting. Readers accustomed to factual accuracy never expected such an elaborate fantasy to be presented as reality. It's a stark reminder that credibility, once lost, is precious and fragile, difficult to regain in the face of public skepticism. The prank, in the end, was relatively harmless, a bit of light-hearted fun, but it poignantly highlights how easily fiction, even the most outlandish, can masquerade as verifiable fact, especially when presented with the weight of authority and the veneer of journalistic integrity. San Serriffe, therefore, teaches us the enduring importance of critical thinking and the vital need for widespread media literacy in an increasingly complex information landscape. It encourages us to question the narratives presented to us, to actively seek corroborating evidence, and perhaps most importantly, to recognize our own inherent desire to believe what confirms our existing biases. The legacy of San Serriffe is complex and multifaceted, a light-hearted celebration of wit and creative ingenuity, but also a serious cautionary tale, a reminder of the ethical responsibilities incumbent upon all journalists. Sometimes indulging in flights of fancy and building castles in the air is a harmless and enjoyable pursuit. But the bedrock foundation of responsible journalism must always remain firmly rooted in verifiable truth and unwavering accuracy. The world has changed dramatically since the San Serriffe hoax captivated readers. Could a similar, equally audacious hoax like San Serriffe ever hope to succeed in today's hyper-connected world? In the digital age, with information at our fingertips, it's nearly impossible to pull off such a feat. The very nature of how we consume and verify information has been fundamentally altered. The internet makes fact-checking instant. A quick search can debunk almost anything. A simple Google search would expose the joke in mere seconds, revealing the fictional nature of the island nation. The information vacuum that made San Serriffe possible, where news traveled slower and verification was less immediate, is long gone. Today, misinformation spreads faster and wider than ever before, a stark contrast to the slower pace of information dissemination in the past. This is achieved through viral posts, deepfakes, and echo chambers, where unverified claims are amplified. The gentle humor of San Serriffe, a light-hearted jest, has been replaced by more divisive, sometimes malicious, fake news designed to mislead and polarize. Trust in media is fractured. Skepticism is at an all-time high. A modern San Serriffe would spark suspicion and outrage, not the shared sense of delight and amusement it once did. The shared national experience of the joke would be lost in the cacophony of online noise and conflicting narratives. Yet despite our access to information, our willingness to believe a good story, a compelling narrative, still endures. The lesson remains: be critical, be curious, always question the source, and never underestimate the power of a well-told lie or the allure of a cleverly crafted deception. Never forget the charm of a magnificent joke, even in an age of instant information. San Serriffe reminds us, in any age, stories, whether true or false, shape our reality and influence our perceptions.